Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to be doing the President Hamilton timeline, episode 2, going from the years of 1818 to 1838, so let's get started. In 1818, the First Seminole War would end, as well as the Treaty of 1818, which I'm pretty sure is the one that ended the war. I could be wrong. 1819 we would have the Panic of 1819. President Marshall would pass the Tallmadge Amendment, as well as he would sign the Adams-Onis Treaty. In 1820, President Marshall would passes the Land Act of 1820, but due to the Panic of 1819, Democratic Republican Governor Daniel Tompkins, despite him being unpopular, would defeat Federalist President John Marshall 156 to 76 to become the 7th president. 1821 and in 1822, there would be nothing noteworthy. Going on in 1823, the only thing is the Arikata War. I could be pronouncing that wrong. And we go on to the 1824 presidential election. As we mentioned before, Daniel Tompkins was already unpopular and he wouldn't do anything in his term that would make him even more popular. So Federalist Secretary John Adams would defeat Democratic Republican President Daniel Tompkins 131 to 130 to become the 8th president. But since it was so close, he would lose the popular vote. And that would mostly be due to Tompkins' support in Virginia and New York. But there wouldn't be any real opposition from Democratic Republicans to abolish the Electoral College, since it wouldn't be by much. It would be around less than 1,000 vote difference that would make Tompkins the popular vote winner. So people mostly just assume it to be a fluke in these days. 1825, President Adams would sign the Treaty of Indian Springs as well as the Treaty of St. Louis. 1826, he would also sign the Treaty of Georgia, as well as there would be the Eggnog Riot. 1827, there would be nothing too noteworthy as we go into the 1828 election. But first, he would enact the Tariff of 1828, and since there was no War of 1812, Andrew Jackson would not be a prominent figure among politicians. He wouldn't. There would be no War of 1812 for him to get his name recognition, so he would not be a factor in this. So John C. Calhoun would form a more states' rights heavy, more nullification heavy, anti-tariff coalition, and he would call it the Democrat Party, a pretty much moving it more, well, at this point it was to the right of the country, so it would be a more far-right version of the Democrat Party. It would be a lot more radical, I guess you could say, for these times. And he would form this party being the strong opposition to John Adams, as Andrew Jackson was. But Calhoun would push on the message a lot harder than Jackson would. If you believe it or not, Calhoun would. But Democrat Governor John Calhoun would defeat Federalist President John Adams 172 to 73 to become the 9th president. 1829, the Cincinnati riots of 1829, there's the Georgia Gold Rush, and the 1829 to 51 cholera pandemic would begin. 1830, there would be nothing noteworthy, as well as in 1831, as we go on to 1832, which is an election year. The Black Hawk War would begin, the nullification crisis would begin, and John Calhoun would be at the top of that now. And there would be no John Floyd to run under the nullifier party, as John Calhoun is going to be representing the nullifiers in this election. But John Calhoun's presidency, his first term, would be very similar to Andrew Jackson's, except the National Bank wouldn't have been vetoed. The National Bank wouldn't have been vetoed, because I'm pretty sure that's what Calhoun broke over Jackson for, was states' rights, as well, nullification mostly, but I think the National Bank was also a thing, so I guess, the National Bank might have been passed, or a second National Bank might have been passed under Calhoun. I don't know, sorry, just say that, but he would be very popular among people. He would be seen as a president for the people, a poor man's politician, kind of like what Andrew Jackson was. But Democrat President John Calhoun would defeat Federalist Secretary Henry Clay and anti-Masonic Attorney General William Moore 202 to 79 to 7 to win re-election. Going on to 1833, there was nothing noteworthy. 1834, there would be anti-abolitionist riots, so people who was for slavery would riot. 1835, the Second Seminole War would begin, and President Calhoun would sign the Treaty of New Echata. Going on to the 1836 election, there would be the Toledo War, and since the Federalist Party is still a formed coalition, and still a strong one by that, there would be no Whig Party to split the vote 5 different ways. So they would nominate General William Henry Harrison, who would be younger, who would be, I think, who would be 4 years younger this timeline, and wouldn't die when he's elected. Spoiler. And he's very popular. So Federalist Senator William Harrison would defeat Democrat Governor Martin Van Buren 195 to 99 to become the 10th president. And also, just a spoiler for the next episode, he will not run for re-election because of his age. That was the original plan when he won the presidency, so he would stick to that in this timeline. 1837, a bad look for the Harrison presidency is that there is the Panic of 1837, which is not good for the Federalist Party. Going on to 1838, there's the Kilo Massacre, again, a massive slaughter of Native Americans. And that's it. I thank you guys so much for watching. This is the Chaotic One saying, peace.